Hey guys, what's up? Today I got an OU match. This one is against Saikyou or something. Um, I said any tier, he said OU, and I was like, whatever. He's got a fairly. Uh, he's got a sand team and stuff, and I've got stuff. Slow King, I didn't mean to bring. I actually brought it to my last match, and I was supposed to switch it for Starmie, but I guess I completely forgot to. So I was kind of like, well, fuck, because now I have like two special walls, even though it's sort of not. I don't know. I'm just like, whatever. Lead with Staraptor. Pretty sure Tyranitar is going to lead, and I'm going to be able to outspeed him very easily and hit him with close combat. But he's got Gengar, so I know he's going to switch to Gengar, so I'm going to U-turn. I probably should have just Brave Birded predicting this, and I could have gotten his Gengar out right away. But I was just worried that he would stay in just to set up Stealth Rock kind of thing. Maybe if he had Chople or whatever. I don't know. Because I definitely wouldn't have killed him then. But yeah, I probably should have just went for the Brave Bird. I don't know. But I U-turn out anyways, and I go to Slow King because I want him to Shadow Ball, and I'm hoping that he's going to have like Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and then like I don't know what he'd have because it didn't have leftover, so it wouldn't be sub-disable. I was just hoping he didn't have Thunderbolt, or that he'd want to go for Shadow Ball, and I could switch to my Staraptor, and it would do nothing. But he actually switches out, which is a little odd. But yeah, it goes to Credilli. Credilli, very annoying in Sand because their special defense is a lot bigger, and they usually have Curse, or in this case, Stockpile, and I'm kind of annoyed. I U-turn out to Espeon, hoping he'll want a Toxic or maybe Stealth Rock, but he, yeah, is just stockpiling. Psyshock does fucking nothing, even though it's specs. And I'm kind of in trouble because, yeah, I have Terrakion, but it's like he's already got two stockpiles up, and I don't see what I can really do to him. I have this genius idea, switch to Shaman and Leech Seed him, but then I'm like, wait, he's grass, so I can't do that. So this was kind of a waste. So I figure, go for Seed Flare. I don't know, maybe I'll get a special defense drop. Not that it really matters because I don't have any super effective and really any strong special attacks. Like if I had Starmie, maybe, because I'd have Life Orb Ice Beam. But I don't. So all my special attackers are walls, pretty much. So I'm kind of in deep doo doo there. So I'm just basically kind of stalling out. I see that he has Toxic, so I pretty much know his moveset. His last move is either going to be Giga Drain or Ancient Power or Rock Slide or I that's about it, pretty much. Maybe Earthquake if he's weird. But yeah, so either way, I'm pretty good on whatever attack he wants to have. Figure, go to Heatran, gonna set up Stealth Rock, and then I'll just try and roar him out. Maybe he'll not have Suction Cups, he'll have Storm Drain, but he switches out for me, so that tells me that he has Giga Drain, or Energy Ball if he's really weird. Because he's not gonna use a non-boosted, quad-resisted move. But he switches out to Rotom, and I go for the Roar, blow him out to Tyranitar, which is kind of good, but kind of I would have rather, maybe like Gengar or something. But I'm going to switch to Terrakion, hoping he doesn't have Earthquake, because if he does, that would be bad. But he goes for Stone Edge, and it's a little odd. You don't see Stone Edge too much on Tyranitars, even though it's the obvious attack. But it's just, on a wall, it's not good, but he has leftovers. So I'm like, is he some sort of weird curse set or something, maybe? But then he'd probably have Rock Slide, and I don't really know what's going on. So the only really sets that have Stone Edge are offensive sets, and he's not choiced, so that's kind of weird. And I guess the only option really left is Dragon Dance, but it's like maybe I don't know. I usually use leftovers is all right since he is pretty bulky. Either way, I go for the Stone Edge, predicting the Gengar. He goes to Skarmory. I can maybe kill him with close combat, but I don't want to risk it. I'm going to switch this to Heatran, predicting the Brave Bird, and he's going to just Roost, which I kind of was worried about, but again, he'd just stall me out with Life Orb, so I'd have to go for the Swords Dance, but he'd be at full health, so he'd still take 2 hits, and that would not be good. So, whatever. He switches it to Rotom on the Earth Power, predicting Heatran, or not Heatran, Tyranitar. Although I should have just roared, because again, roar sort of solves all problems. But yeah, so I switch to Shaman. He hits me with Hydro Pump. It does a lot, so I'm like, okay, he's Specs, not Scarf. But then that's weird because he doesn't really have anything else that's Scarfed on the team except maybe Gengar. But then why would a Scarfed Gengar be afraid of a Slowking? That doesn't really make sense, but I don't know. Meh. So I'm in here on Shaman. I should have went for the Leech Seed, but I go for Seed Flare, whatever. I switch to Espeon, and I'm going to bounce back his Spikes. I'm pretty sure he's not going to Roost at that HP, and he's probably not going to Brave Bird. It would have been an okay attack, but, you know, I figured he'd want to set up hazards because that's kind of what Skarmories usually do. Now I figure Brave Bird's probably going to be coming. So switch out to Heatran. He is going to switch out Fearing, I guess, the Hidden Power Fire. Or something like that, but he goes out to Tyranitar. Because I saw him not use Earthquake last time, and he used Stone Edge and he has leftovers, I'm like, he's not that threatening. So I go for the Roar, but he Dragon Dances, and I'm like, okay, that is a little odd. I mean, I guess, you know, leftovers and Dragon Dance works, because like I said, he is pretty bulky, but I don't know. I don't really use Dragon Dance Tyranitar, even though he seems pretty cool. It's just that he's really slow. Like, a lot of people don't like that, and especially now that he's basically just only defensive. Like, Scarftar used to be great. I loved Scarftar, but now no one uses it ever. Not particularly sure why, but anyways, Stoutland's in here. I'm in on Heatran, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. He's got nothing, absolutely nothing to hit me. He's got like Crunch, Return, Fire Fang, whatever. He hits me with Superpower, and I'm like, that's a Black and White 2 move, you idiot. That's illegal. Oh my god. So, that almost killed me. It's a good thing it didn't. I almost killed him. Doesn't really matter that I didn't, because I just switched to Slowking and with the minus attack and whatever is not a big deal. But that fucking ruined my Heatran. I'm like, fuck. Why do you have to have illegal movesets for the tier we're playing, which is Black and White OU, not Black and White 2 OU? People. So, anyways, switch to Shaman on the Rotom. He's going to go for the Trick, and I get the Specs, as I was thinking it would be. He is going to stay in and go for the Shadow Ball. Don't know why he has Shadow Ball or why he's staying in for a potential Specs Seed Flare. But I go for the Leech Seed, predicting the Gengar or Skarmory to come in, but they don't. So I'm like, well, fuck. I'm going to switch to Heatran here to take the Shadow Ball very easily, and then get some Leech Seed recovery, because, you know, he really needs it, considering that fucking Stoutland fucking ruined it with Superpower. But yeah, and then my plan is to switch out to Slowking to take a Hydro Pump and have it really do nothing, and then just stay in and take the Volt Switch and Thunder Wave whatever comes in. He's got slightly different plans, because he's actually going to use Volt Switch, which is the smarter option, because Heatran's going to be, what, 85 HP. Really, a Volt Switch would probably kill him anyways. I'm pretty sure, assuming he's, you know, offensive, which he should be because he was Specs. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even do half the Slowking, so it's not really a big deal, considering I can just switch out and gain most of it back with Regenerator, which is basically what I'm going to do, because he has got a Gengar staring me in the face, and I kind of don't want to be killed by Gengar. I'm going to go out to Shaman, because last time I went straight out to Staraptor, so I don't want him to Thunderbolt, since it's super effective on both instead of using Shadow Ball. I figure if he does Thunderbolt, then I don't know, maybe he's Scarfed and whatever, because I haven't seen his item yet. But as I see here, he's actually Life Orb, so that wouldn't have mattered, because he would have just outsped me and hit me with a Shadow Ball, and I would have died anyways. Sure, I would have gotten 2 Life Orb recalls, but whatever. But because I don't see him use Thunderbolt, I'm thinking that he might not have it. And I'm thinking he's just, you know, maybe a Pain Splitter or something. I don't know. But I go to Staraptor. I figure he's going to switch out, and I go for the U-turn for the, you know, the Tyranitar or whatever, or the Skarmory mainly. But he stays in and hits me with a Psychic, and I'm like, what? That doesn't even... Oh, what the hell? So, yeah, I figure I'm going to recover and just let him sort of die to Life Orb Recoil and Sand and whatever. And Shadow Ball will, do a little more than half, but I can take him. But he has Giga Drain, and I'm like, why is your... Okay, so I'm thinking because he has Giga Drain, he doesn't need Thunderbolt for the water type, so he probably has Focus Blast because, he still needs to hit dark types. And so I can just paralyze him here, and that'll be fine. And then I can switch out to Staraptor on, Giga Drain does really, nothing. And Shadow Ball if he decides to go for it because he's at a decent amount of health. I can take, plus I don't, really... I'm not caught. Scald should kill it, but it's close again, 40% ish. So I don't really want to risk it. But now he goes for Thunderbolt, and I'm like, why? This Gengar set is retarded. Oh. So anyways, I switched to Terrakion. With the Sandstorm boost, I know I can take a Shadow Ball, but then I'm like, wait, he has Giga Drain, which is only slightly stronger, so it's not a big deal, but I think that extra 30 base power probably makes me not live at more than 64, so that means I can only take 2 Life Orb recoils and not 1. But I can kill this Gengar, and the main reason I Swords Dance was for Skarmory to come in, and he's actually going to send it in on me, which is a little odd. I don't know why he did that. I guess he thought he could take a +2 Life Orb close combat, but he definitely cannot, so that was a little weird, because that's 80 to 100% or something like that, so it's there's no chance of him living at 60, so a little weird, but yeah. Terrakion ends up dying. A little unfortunate. I go to Espeon because I figure if he goes into Tyranitar and gets up a Dragon Dance on either of my 2 special walls remaining, my Heatran or my Slowking, sorry, I'm fucked. So I go to Espeon. I figure he's faster than Tyranitar. A Specs Grass Knot on an offensive Tyranitar will do 80 or 90% in the sand, so it should be fine. And he's at half because of Stealth Rock and the spikes that I bounced back. He actually sends in Tyranitar thinking he can live it and get up a Dragon Dance and sweep me, but because I was worried that he would go into this, basically kill Espeon or force it out, and then go into Tyranitar on a Fire Blast or whatever, or a Psychic or Ice Beam, whatever, and get up a Dragon Dance, and I'd be screwed. Well, again, you can't really Dragon Dance in Slowking's face because I can just paralyze him and he'd be kind of screwed. But yeah, he just sends it in thinking he can live. Maybe if he was fully, especially defensive, maybe, but he's not. And Tyranitar's a heavy-ass motherfucker, and I'm Specs locked into Grassland. I guess he could not know I'm Specs. Maybe he thinks I'm like Clay still, because some Espeons do screens, but, Grassknot's weird as a second move, along with Psyshock. So, I don't know, whatever. Basically, I saw Toxic last time, so I figured if he wants to Toxic Slowking, I'll switch to Espeon, bounce it back, and then he'll be Toxic, and then he'll lose. He doesn't do that. He goes for Giga Drain, which is really weird, because, if a Life Orb Gengar's Giga Drain did, half, yeah, a Credilli's Giga Drain is gonna do, a quarter, so, and I have Recovery, so I don't know why he was doing that. But basically, as it stands, I know he can't kill me, because Giga Drain did 12 damage. I'm recovering double that much with leftovers. So I figured, and this is what I told him, I'm going to run, but it's only because this PP stall war is going to last 90 turns, because he's got Stockpile, Giga Drain, Toxic, and Recover. But as soon as Giga Drain's out, he can't kill Heatran. I can't kill him, but the thing is, I have 2 Pokemon, which means I can switch between them endlessly. And again, even if Giga Drain does a third, Regenerator heals it back, and I go to Heatran, and it does nothing, and so I can just literally just switch endlessly, 1,000 times in a row, and he can't kill me unless he gets 100 crits on my Slowking in a row, through Generator. But again, he only has 16 PP, so as I told him, I'm just going to run just to save time. If technically the game said I lost because I ran, but I'm I don't really want to sit here for this long. And another thing is, I actually already won because you're using an illegal Stoutland set, which you're not supposed to be using black and white 2 sets in black and white because it's black and white 2 sets. So, either way, the match was sort of weird. That Gengar really like annoyed me a lot, and like I said, if I had to just went with my gut and Brave Birded on the first turn, he would have been gone, and I would have just like ruined him with Terrakion. Basically, get up 1 Swords Dance and Stealth Rock. Skarmory dies because he doesn't have his sturdy, and then like everything else dies to a +2 close combat, and it's just like. But that didn't happen because Gengar's really annoying. I mean, Slowking ended up actually pulling its weight, to be honest. I mean, Starmie would have helped. It would have been obviously different because Starmie is not a Slowking, but Slowking, I was able to use it to its advantages because that's what you're supposed to do with Pokemon. It's a special wall, so I used it as a special wall to counter Gengar, which I shouldn't have been able to, but there you go. And Starmie would have just killed it, faster and Life Orb Surf, so that wouldn't have been an issue, but I don't. Well, I mean, again, I said it might be Scarfed, so I switched out. So even if I was in on Starmie, I would have not contested it until I saw the Life Orb. But yeah. So that was the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on Wednesday.